February the 10th, 2021, and we are tracking winter storm number 1. Yeah, I said number 1 because as we go a little bit deeper into this forecast, there could be a winter storm number 2 on Monday, and maybe a third one down the road if you believe the GFS weather model. We've got to get through winter storm number 1, though. We've seen up to about a quarter inch of some ice on the trees around Louisville, some areas off to the south. And south of the parkways, you're still waiting on some of that ice to collect. And then southern Indiana, we're starting to see the precipitation start to shut off in those areas. Temperatures are slowly dropping from north to south, and that's going to help you get some of that ice in areas farther and farther south of Louisville. So we're going to take a deep dive into our winter storm number 1. Let me share tonight's Facebook Live with our First Alert Storm Team page, and then we will be ready to go. Be careful if you just step outside. We've got just a layer of some icing, a little bit of sleet, maybe a tad bit of snow mixing in. So it's just an absolute mess across the area. The roads are ice and sleet covered in downtown Louisville. And I know in your area, if you're south of Louisville, you're like, yeah, they're just wet here. Well, we've got a long way to go tonight. Many hours ahead. This system is not moving out anytime soon. All right, let me get this off to our First Alert Storm Team page. And again, if you're just joining in, yes, I say winter storm number 1. There's a chance we could have winter storm number 2. There's a chance it could be bigger than this one on Monday. And our long-range outlook looks cold and rather active. This could be a pretty memorable next week or two, winter weather-wise across the region. And thanks for sending in your reports, pictures. I'll show you some more spots that you can do that. You become a very important part of the forecast and verifying what we're seeing on the radar and what's been on Futurecast, knowing what's happening on the ground or up in the trees. Starting to get some power outages. We've got over 2,000 power outages in Louisville. I think over 3,000 in Kentucky so far, and again, this is just still the early stages of some of this icing across the area. Lucia Reese, thanks for watching. Chris Hall, Joshua Violet, Beverly Hagist from icy Borden, Indiana, Alan Henderson from Shepherdsville. We were live there tonight with our storm team meteorologist Alden German. They're going a little bit farther south to Elizabethtown for our night team broadcast at 11 p.m. Meteorologist Reed Yaden will be up early, out and about, probably around Bardstown or Mount Washington, Shepherdsville, starting at 4:30 tomorrow morning. Meteorologist Caitlin Fish will be in here showing you what's left on the radar. Lydia Lewis, thanks for watching. We've got Dave and Ashley Beard from Rigo, Indiana, Michelle Reese, Denise Shishino, Marilyn Stewart, Joshua Violet, Amy Jones, Susan Miller. Might not be able to get to everybody. We thank you very much for watching. Judy Whitlock from PRP, Marcus Amos from Austin, Indiana, Audrey Logston from Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and Gary and Janet Hutchins saying the roads in Corden are very, very slick. They are slick in many locations, no doubt about that. And hopefully we won't have the audio hiccups that we had last night. But take a look at this. We've got a bunch of that ice here from Phil Dunaway, our photographer here at WHS 11 in Mount Washington, Kentucky, showing the icicles on the trees and on the bird feeder. I would say probably 2/10 of an inch of ice there. And that's the reports I'm getting so far, about 2/10 of an inch of ice accumulation. But again, it's still coming down. Now, here are the locations that you can help us out. You can text 502-582-7290. Picture, video. Our WHAS 11 app has a section called Near Me where you can submit that stuff to. Email your photos at WHAS11.com or our Facebook group, Kentucky, Indiana Cloud Watchers. And if you want to go to that group, we'll approve you. And you can check out some amazing photography and some great photos of what's going on across the area as well. Again, if you just search Kentucky, Indiana Cloud Watchers. Here are all of the alerts in effect until 7 p.m. Thursday. Okay, so you've got one tier of counties in southern Indiana under a winter weather advisory. The dark blue, that's the winter storm warning for Louisville and I-64. And then you've got Bullitt County South under the ice storm warning. And there's probably some of you around Campbellsville, Columbia, like, what ice? I don't see anything out here. The roads are just wet. In due time, it's heading your way as temperatures begin to drop off more and more through the nighttime. Okay, let's take a look. Again, this is what's happening now. We'll put a stop on the radar, and we'll cruise around a little bit. So, again, southern Indiana drying out and cooling down. 23 in most locations in Louisville. We're down to 29 in Louisville. It is cold and damp and icy and just a mess. We're getting a switch over to more sleet. And then you go south, it's primarily freezing rain. We're 27 in Shelbyville, 28 in Fort Knox. Hodgenville, 31, Springfield, 32, Munfordville at 32, and 1 degree above freezing in Columbia, Kentucky at 33. We'll switch this over to the reports so far. There were a couple of reports out west of around a half inch of ice. It's not showing it there. Oh, I need to add something on here really quickly. But these are the ice reports in those locations so far. Let me try something real quick. I'm going to bear with me. Looking for ice. Here we go. Now this should work. Just querying some of the okay, so that just says 0.1 there in Elizabethtown. You've got 0.2 in Lawrenceburg. Let me clear those out. 0.2 there out west, 0.1, 0.1. So nothing huge at this point in time. Shepherdsville, 0.2. Louisville, 0.2. Corydon, 0.2. So 0.2 inches of ice, pretty common across the area so far. This is a look at some weather model data showing some additional icing through the nighttime. So say we have 0.2 now and you add on a little bit extra. That could get you easily over a quarter inch. You get over a quarter inch, that's when you start to run into more and more of the potential power outage issues. Tomorrow, winds are going to be around 10 to 20 miles per hour. I don't think that'll make a major impact as far as more power outages, but it can sometimes move. Pine trees especially just like to sag and collect all that ice, and you get them to move a little bit, and it's just enough force to bring down more branches when you've got a 10 to 20 mile per hour wind. So the icing impacts, of course, we know tree damage, power outages, treacherous roadways. For tonight, little additional sleet, maybe a little light snow over the northern half, and then we continue with primarily just freezing rain once you get south of Louisville. Snowfall is not going to be impressive, inch or less, as the system departs by early tomorrow morning. So here's Futurecast. This is 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning. Still seeing on the northern fringe maybe a few snowflakes, but generally you've got ice continuing, and notice our temperatures continue to fall. There's 25 in E-Town at 1:30, 26 Bardstown 30 in Campbellsville, so the ice accretion continues, the ice collection. Still some light freezing rain, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, maybe a few flurries mixed in as well. Notice the temperatures continue to drop to the lower and mid-20s, upper teens north. And there still could be a little bit of light icing up until mid-morning for Adair County, areas south of the Bluegrass Parkway. And then we are dry and cold tomorrow afternoon with highs near freezing. A little cooler north and a little bit, I wouldn't call it warmer. It's still cold, but relatively warmer to the south. So tonight we're talking about storm number 1, and we will talk about storm number 2 here in just a second. Here's a look at some traffic moving along on Interstate 65 over the bridges. Just taking it easy, it looks like. Down to 29 and 28, wind chill 19, north wind at 12. You can see that north flow. So about a 10-degree temperature range across the area, down to 21 in Bedford, 23 in Madison, and down to right at freezing in Lebanon, Kentucky, and Munfordville at 32. So for tonight, icy south of Louisville, sleet and a little bit of snow north, low of 23. Tomorrow, after the morning wintry mix, drying out in 32 tomorrow afternoon. So here we go. What is this? Is this today and tomorrow? No. This is Monday. Not only the GFS weather model, but the European weather model are hinting, a huge hint, that there could be a pretty large storm system, a winter storm system on the way Monday. And that one could be bigger. So this could be just kind of a primer for the next storm. And the GFS is really wanting to party over the next couple of weeks. This is on Monday. I don't even want to talk about how much snow that the weather models are putting out with that storm. It's pretty ridiculous. And then it has another one on Thursday. That is a big winter storm as well. But again, that's just long-range data at this point in time, but Monday is not too far off. I mean, tomorrow is Thursday, so we'll continue to watch the model trends and see if we get some more exciting weather early next week. Right now, GFS and Euro hinting at the potential of snow and ice over the Commonwealth and the Hoosier State as well Monday. So today, still focusing on winter storm number 1, but just looking ahead a little bit at the potential for another one just down the road. Here's the 7-day. It looks like the weekend's going to be dry. I think for the 11 o'clock newscast, I'll take out that little snow chance for the weekend. Models are looking drier for the weekend. Looks pretty cold Sunday, Monday. Chilling Valentine's Day down to the lower 20s. Could see some nighttime temperatures in the single digits and teens, certainly. Monday, we've got that higher precipitation chance in the frozen form, and a very cold 7-day forecast, turning into an exciting February of winter weather. So if you're a fan of winter weather and snow, you might get what you want here. All right, let me go back to the radar view here. Stephanie Jackson, no, I'm not too tired. I did just have dinner a short time ago. Just kind of pacing myself. I got more time to kind of slow it down. When I'm on TV in the newscast, I've got 3 or 4 minutes. I've got to talk really fast to get it all out. But we can go long form here on the live streaming, so I can take my time and slow it down. Denise, I don't know if they will or not. A lot of the main routes are in pretty good shape. The road crews are working hard. Very thankful for all the snow fighters and ice fighters out there, the plows and the salt, helping us all out. So a lot of the main routes, as they continue to work and some of this ice starts to move farther south, it's still going to be pretty icy tomorrow morning, but as we saw on that live view, traffic was still moving pretty good on Interstate 65. And a lot of that salt works pretty well with temperatures in the upper 20s and lower 30s where we're at right now. I was driving around downtown in two-wheel drive, and I was getting around just fine, but I've grown up driving in snow and ice, I went to school in Muncie, Indiana at Ball State, where they did not treat the roads at all, and you would have, for much of the winter, just a big layer of ice and snow mix, and had a rear wheel drive vehicle and got around just fine. So as long as you're comfortable and you know how to drive in it, and don't try to tackle any hills and it's flat, you can kind of get around all right. I had enough traction out there tonight, and there's probably, I'd say, about half an inch or an inch of kind of a slushy, hard ice on the roads around downtown Louisville, and I was able to get around on that. Just don't gun it on when you're trying to turn a corner. Take it easy, take it slow, and a lot of you will be able to get around, especially on the main routes, treated areas. But if you're trying to manage a hill and it's icy, untreated, that's probably not going to happen. Some routes are just going to be impossible. So I'm just looking over some of the comments, see if we have any reports of anything new. Thank you all for tuning in to our live stream on this Wednesday here at 10:02 p.m. on February 10th, 2021. I am Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine here in the WHAS 11 First Alert Storm Team Weather Center. Let me hop over to the WHAS 11 page, see what's happening there. So again, I think most areas are about 0.2, possibly up to a quarter inch of ice, which hasn't caused all that many power outages yet. But as Alden was saying, when I was texting him a little while ago, still a lot of night left to go. Tommy Witt was asking, can you tell us what the GFS actually says about next week? I really don't want to put it out there. You can always look yourself. Just Google GFS weather model, and it will take you to several sites, and you can look at the long run data. It goes out about over 300 hours. It goes out about 2 weeks, and you can take a look at the snowfall output. It's pretty crazy, but when you go that far out, a lot of times it just doesn't happen. So it's not a forecast. It's just a toy in the long runs that we play with. It's called guidance. But when you see the European and the GFS weather model, not long range, kind of medium range. Monday I would call medium range, and they're both calling for a winter storm on Monday. You definitely perk up, and it's within the 7-day forecast. So that data comes together right now, and we'll be watching Monday for the next winter storm potential. Still dealing with number one though. William Rakes, Lebanon, Kentucky. You guys have pretty much yet to switch over to that ice, but you will during the overnight and early tomorrow morning. So you're looking at about a quarter inch of ice, but some areas could overachieve. It's possible, maybe up to a third or a half inch of ice during the overnight and early tomorrow morning. This definitely turns into a Kentucky thing as it shifts out of Indiana. There'll be maybe a few flurries left over in Indiana tonight. But the accumulating precipitation is almost done in Indiana. Val Brooks asking, what will the roads be like tomorrow night? I think the main roads will be just fine. The crews will be out there with the salt and with the wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. A lot of the roads will just start to dry up. Now, if you never got salt in between the road surface and the ice, it was never treated, it's going to be cold enough that some of the ice will just hang around. So some outlying roads, neighborhood roads, still could be a little bit icy and dicey tomorrow night too. And that would be the same for Danville as well. All right, I'm getting some questions about how long will things last. So we'll go back to Futurecast. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Was I wanting to show anything up here? But these are definitely the most difficult things to predict, because we talked about it the last several days. You've got a variety of amounts that people are going to see, a variety of different types of precipitation. The timing is different for different areas. So the where, when, the how much. A lot of questions when it comes to these wintry mixes. All right, let's get to Futurecast, as I mentioned. And we'll go back to full screen, and then we'll wrap it up right after that. Okay, so this is 10 p.m. This is now, and actually Futurecast, which is a weather model coming from a computer, and with tons of mathematical equations giving us a graphical output, and it's matching up pretty well with reality. You got a little sleet, a few snowflakes on the north end, and then you've got the freezing rain from Louisville south to Campbellsville and Munfordville at this time. We'll go ahead a few hours. We'll stop it here at 1 a.m. And so we haven't moved much. The only change is the temperatures have dropped, so that will allow the ice to collect a lot more efficiently as we get a little deeper into the night times. That shows Bardstown down to 26, Elizabethtown 25, Litchfield 27, Campbellsville 30, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. You still have some of that icing going on from the parkways and south at 5 a.m. in the morning with even colder temperatures. We'll take it to about 8 a.m. and you still have some light icing continuing for areas south of the Bluegrass Parkway. Maybe a few flurries, a little sleet still mixing in. So tomorrow morning we'll still have that little wintry mix around, which will keep the roads slick. And then we begin to dry out in the afternoon. And a quick check as well at the ice product here. So generally a quarter to a half inch of ice will be possible. And it continues to show around the Bluegrass and Western Kentucky Parkway south to the Cumberland Parkway, the best chance for that quarter to half inch ice accumulation. And if you were just joining us, here's some more fun. Tonight's stream is about winter storm number 1, but taking a peek ahead at potential winter storm number 2. That is Monday. That one could be bigger. We'll see. Time will tell. That will be our next focus after tomorrow. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching here tonight. 10:09. I'll see you in about 51 minutes on WHAS 11 News. The Night Team. Sleep well. Have a peaceful night. Be very, very careful.